Wild Health is about optimizing you. We use genomics, blood work, biometrics, microbiome assessment, many other tests, and a conversation with you to come up with a full health optimization plan. What's the perfect diet, exercise, and supplement plan for you and only you? The Wild Health podcast is about optimizing all of us. Here we cover the cutting edge science that gives you the base to be able to apply the personalized plan we give you as a patient. To sign up as a patient, go to wildhealth.com. Or if you're a physician or health coach and you want to learn how to do this for your patients, we're happy to help as well. Wildhealth.com for all the information on becoming a patient or working with us.
What's up, Carl Seger?
Not much, brother. Nice skull cap.
Hey, you too. Looking
Thank you.
absolutely fantastic and staying
Is that
warm
blue?
in the head region. Yeah.
It's
Staying
blue or
warm.
green. I can't quite tell.
It's blue. It's I'm usually rocking something in the green black variety,
Yeah.
but you're right. I'm mixing it up, trying to show that I've got some versatility when it comes to beanies.
I'm pretty consistent on the blue.
Yeah. Well, it suits you. Looks good.
Thank you. Brings out the color in my eyes.
We are, full disclosure for listeners, we're actually going to do this podcast, but what we're really looking forward to is doing the podcast we're going to do after this, which you'll have to wait a little bit longer for, which is about laughter as medicine. And
Yes.
that one I'm so stoked for that this is sort of a transactional podcast for us, but we wanted to get this done. This is, we had a myth busting question come through about superfoods. Like, is that a real thing? Are there such things as superfoods?
Am I going to eat something and get a cape that grows out of my back and like fly off?
Special
into the sunset?
powers?
Yeah.
I mean, this is
X-ray
like,
vision.
we do X-ray vision would be so rad. They talk about
Would it?
you
Would
hear
it really?
well, I'd actually, it would stop me from having to go out to the car and figure out if I left my son's tennis bag in my car or in my wife's car. So
Oh wow, you went right to practical, and I went right to dirty in my mind. Like if you had that
yeah.
together.
When I was like 16 or maybe
Yeah.
13, I would have been really excited about X-ray vision for another reason.
Yeah, right.
All right, let's listen.
Sorry.
Laughter as medicine is next, Carl.
No,
We're moving on.
sorry.
All
Stay
right, so
focused.
superfoods. We hear in popular media and even frankly in our health report with patients we talk about like superfoods and quote unquote kryptonite foods, so things that are really good for you based on your your personal health and biomarkers and even genomics, and things that are potentially more harmful for you. So as usual, the answer with regards to superfoods is probably it depends on your personal health situation. But I think it's important to know that if you're really going to think about superfoods, you're going to think about them as foods that are like nutritionally dense and packed with good things like vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, nutrients that provide health benefits. So like, any superfoods that you work into your regular diet, Carl, that aren't like things you buy off the shelf at the supermarket or on the internet marketed as superfoods. Like, what do you think of as like a superfood?
Kale.
Kale's a total superfood.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
give
kale,
me one more.
avocados, and blueberries.
Oh my God. Absolutely.
Okay.
Those were
Okay.
in my top 5. I would
All
put,
right. Nice.
I'd put salmon in there, wild
Oh,
caught salmon.
yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
And I'd probably put eggs in there if your genetics allow. It's like it's a really and your your lipids allow. I think eggs are incredibly nutrient dense.
I think instead of salmon, I would replace like smash fish. Put those
I
because
think you could extend.
because I'm a big mackerel guy. But
Yeah, you and I are bonded on many things in life, my friend, and mackerel is definitely one of them. So, by the way, Japanese pickled mackerel at sushi at lunch yesterday. First time caller, and I am subscribed.
now going to be a long time listener.
Long time
Yeah.
listener,
All
absolutely
right.
amazing.
All right. I've never had that. Sounds good.
Yeah, no, I got a strange look from the waitress. I don't think anybody else has ordered that since they opened, but it was really
Really?
good.
Yeah. Who saw that coming?
Back to superfoods
Yeah.
and not just pickled mackerel. There's really no like scientific, if we're gonna be myth busting, definition about what is a superfood, and lots of stuff can be marketed as superfoods and may not live up to their reputation. So if I were to think of like something that's marketed as a superfood that I think actually kind of fits the bill. Um,
Yeah.
I think I'd say spirulina.
Okay. Yeah.
We
Yeah.
did
Yeah.
a whole episode on spirulina. You can go
Yeah.
back and listen. We can link to in the show notes. But it's a blue-green algae that's just packed with antioxidants, protein. There's some studies showing that spirulina may help with weight management by improving glucose and insulin metabolism, may lower LDL
ApoB.
cholesterol.
Yeah.
I mean, if especially if you get like the fresh spirulina, it really doesn't even have a taste to it. I mean, it has a little bit of a taste, but it doesn't have that like weird funky taste that you can sometimes get with the powdered spirulinas. So I think that probably fits the bill as an actual superfood.
Yeah, totally. And it changes your smoothies a color that your children are fascinated by, or at least one's children. My children are fascinated by.
Mine are like, what is in that? And I'm not going to try it, which is good because then I get to drink my whole smoothie and I don't have to share it with my kids.
Yeah, so what's happened is that I've upped my smoothie game, and my wife was avoiding my smoothies with the spirulina, but then she had some of it, and now she's stealing it from me, which is, yeah.
Make your
The
own
children
smoothie.
aren't though yet. Like my 5-year-old is fascinated, but
Well, it's
like
a really cool color. It looks like a science experiment.
Yeah,
So
totally.
I'm all about that. And quick preview. We're gonna talk about one more class of superfoods, and then we're gonna wrap this pretty quickly. But we are going to talk about since you're talking about your smoothie, Carl. I'm gonna ask you what's like the healthiest meal that you eat. But we're gonna get to that in a minute. We're
Oh,
gonna get to
okay, okay, okay. I like
all
because
right.
I
So
got it. Yeah,
I know you got it.
yeah, yeah.
All right. I mean, any other classes of foods or things that you would think of before I blab on about sort of what I think for additional superfoods? I mean, you'll see like maca, and you'll see I don't know what else really gets marketed out there as a superfood. There's like other algae that get marketed as
Yeah,
superfoods.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know that I have anything like you know any sort of bias against these foods, but they're always really expensive.
It's for sure.
And
Yeah, yeah.
if there isn't like a proven health benefit, it does seem like a waste of your cash.
Yeah, a lot of like the downside is definitely the cost. The upside is maybe minimal. Like I don't know. I mean, other than the ones you mentioned, I have like those three. Spirulina, I forgot about that one. I appreciate you bringing me that again. And then I don't know.
What do you think about what about adaptogens? What do you think about mushrooms?
Yeah, I guess I'd put mushrooms in the superfood category. Although I think especially the non like traditional like just the button mushroom, the ones outside of that area, um, and like especially those that people go and forage themselves, like I put those in that category.
Yeah, yeah. So that was the only other category I was going to kind of throw in is, when you're talking about shiitake or reishi or maitake or shaga or even cordyceps, there's, you know, not a whole host of like rigorous scientific research around these in particular, but there is some, and there's lots in non-Western medicine that supports. Maitake, for example, has beta glucans in it, which can enhance the immune system and regulate blood sugar levels. Shaga are high in antioxidants and anti-inflammatories, so may have like anti-tumor properties. There's lots of promising stuff around these non-portobello, non-button
Yeah,
mushrooms
yeah,
that are probably pretty helpful for us. And if you think just like evolutionarily, like these are the wild mushrooms that we were out like foraging when we were out living wild. So there probably are some benefits from them that you could incorporate into your diet. So I'm a fan of those. I'm regular spirulina guy. And then otherwise, I think if you really just want to stick to nutrient dense foods, dark leafy greens, things like salmon, avocado, blueberries, etc. Like we've kind of, I think, hit on some of the really more accessible and more popular superfoods that you can incorporate. And I think if you're wondering if something has a magical benefit for you, and it's $45 for a bag of 15 servings of some kind of powder, it's
probably not.
unlikely to make
Yeah.
a substantial improvement in your health.
All right, you gonna
All
ask
right.
me the question? Come on, I'm
Yeah, it's
excited.
time. It's
All
time.
right.
We're almost at 10 minutes, and we wanted to keep this one pretty short as it's a answering a question one, so we don't like to drone on for too long. Hit me, Carl. What is the healthiest meal that you eat?
Okay, so this is my lunch on my days where I lift.
Okay.
So it's a compressed pumpkin seed cracker. It's like a pumpkin. Just wait. It's just pumpkin seeds basically mashed together, um, and then I put avocado on that, and then I put mackerel, and then I put pickled onions and or kimchi on that, and then salt and pepper. And I used to eat that with the mackerel is like really with the avocado and it's just there's something about how those flavors sort of meld, and like the amount of fiber in the pumpkin seed crackers, a lot. There's pretty good fats in the avocado, and then mackerel we've talked about, and then the kimchi. So from a microbiome standpoint, so that all mixed together, like I think I calculated out like the protein in it was like just one little can of macro, like I was getting like 40 grams of protein and like a ton of I think 20 it wasn't 20 grams of fiber, maybe it was like a lot of fiber and protein, with like very little saturated fat, and
That
so
sounds
like
pretty amazing.
yeah.
I gotta ask you two questions. One, um, mackerel in olive oil or mackerel in water?
Oh, olive oil.
Okay.
Okay.
And two, how do you make your pumpkin seed cracker? Because that sounds awesome, but it sounds like
So
it's work, and I
it's
don't
a
like
nah,
doing that much
I'm
work
not
in the
doing
kitchen.
that. Like there's like a local company that like they put it they basically just take pumpkin seeds and then just like crunch them down
Oh,
and
I
like
got it. So it's like you're buying your pumpkin seed crackers,
oh
but
yeah,
the
no,
ingredients are pumpkin seeds.
yeah, yeah, right. It's like pumpkin seeds and like there's some psyllium husk in there as well. Like and they like
Oh, that's
use
gonna give you the
that stuff
fiber
to
too.
kind of like bind it to get it to kind of hold. They don't hold very well. Like you touch that thing and it crumbles. So you gotta like everything. It's a delicate process. But
It sounds.
yeah,
We
that,
may need a video follow up on this one.
sure.
Yeah, it's it's actually like kind of frightening how close my healthiest meal is to your healthiest meal. I would be tempted to say that my healthiest meal was like a smoothie, but I think that's a cop out. Number one, like it's liquid calories, so it's probably not
Yeah.
your healthiest meal no matter what.
Yeah.
And yeah, you can throw together like spirulina and plain almond milk and some protein powder and all that stuff, and it's like macronutrient wise, it's pretty good. You can put some psyllium husk in it, and it's got a bunch of fiber, antioxidants if you want to throw in spirulina or other dark leafy greens into it. But it just a smoothie is not really a meal, so
Yeah.
I'm gonna pass on my smoothie as healthiest meal. I actually go mackerel, so we're on the same boat there.
Okay.
I top mackerel with kimchi. That is my mackerel topping. Avocado.
All right.
So
Oh,
we're like
hit.
75% overlap on our healthiest meal Venn diagram. And then the difference is I haven't found a cool compressed pumpkin seed manufacturer in my neck of the woods. Although I'm
In
sure there
Portland,
is one in
really?
Portland. Yeah,
Like
I'm sure there's one where they
you
name the
haven't looked.
pumpkins. This is from Carl the Pumpkin.
Yeah.
But I take either traditional sweet potatoes or Japanese yams, and I slice them pretty thin, and then I put them in the toaster oven.
Are you like doing a
And
mandolin, or are you like
no, just with a
slicing?
knife.
Oh, wow.
So like
Okay.
eighth inch or so. Like they're not
Oh,
like paper. They're not wafer thin.
okay.
They're not paper thin, but
Yeah.
they're thin enough that if I put them in the toaster oven and I toast them, and then I flip them and I toast them one more time, while I'm getting all the rest of the ingredients together, they're the toast for my mackerel avocado
Yeah.
kimchi, but they're tons of fiber, no
Yeah.
gluten,
Yeah.
high nutritional value from sweet potatoes, and that's I'd say that's like 4 days a week. That's my lunch.
I think I should. I don't know if I should. I'm gonna have to research this, but I think I should maybe at least try that out. My pumpkin seed cracker has a lot of fiber, but your idea sounds like a warm sweet potato, toasted sweet
That's the
potato.
thing is it's a warm lunch. It's got
Yeah,
a little bit of warmth to it as opposed to just eating cold kimchi
yeah,
and mackerel, which is
yeah.
still tasty, but there's something where it feels just a little bit cozier.
It's like a cozy, like a warm blanket. Yeah, that's nice. I like
And
that. That's
on the same in the same vein as the spirulina in your smoothie, your kids will not come anywhere near a mackerel
oh.
kimchi lunch. So you're protected. You've got it all to yourself.
Well, the kimchi my kids won't come, but the pickled onions, for some reason, my daughter will just she'll like we pickle our own onions and like
Of course you
she
do,
just
Carl.
she just like hammers that down. Like and it's
Yeah.
to
Well,
the
that's
point
just
of
like it's because it's taco adjacent, right? I mean, who's not going to want to
it's
get near
taco
a pickled onion?
taco adjacent. That's really good. Well, we do have those on our like homemade taco night, like Taco Tuesday, and they just like pour those pickled onions on. So yeah, taco
Fantastic.
adjacent. That's why
All right.
I
Well,
like
I
that.
think let's cut it at taco adjacent.
Okay.
So thanks for talking about your healthy foods and superfoods, Carl. And
Yeah.
let's reset, and we're gonna go start laughing our butts off. That's
Oh, it's
that's
gonna be
the
great.
goal. All
It's
right.
gonna be great.
Thanks,
All right,
buddy.
man. Yep.
Thanks for listening to the Wild Health Podcast. If you found it helpful, give us a 5-star rating and write a review on iTunes. It really helps the podcast, and we greatly appreciate it. If you want to be a client or you want to work with us, go to wildhealth.com. Thanks again.